Staying on top of your teams in news, stats, and wins, this is SIBN Sports.
What's up, y'all? This is your girl, Claire Celeste, back at the sports desk. I am excited today. Your girl been flying solo for the last couple of weeks, but guess what, y'all? Not today. He is here.
Here's Matthew.
What's up? Welcome back, Matthew.
Glad to be back.
Matthew Bugs is in the house, none other than. What's going on, man?
Not too much, y'all. I had my wisdom teeth taken out, so now I'm able to talk again, able to eat normal foods. I'm still craving a hamburger, but I'm all right, y'all.
Okay.
I'm all right.
So you can't eat that hamburger yet, huh?
I'm going to give me one, trust me.
Okay.
I'm going to give me my hamburger.
You waiting, huh?
Oh, yeah. And
can't wait.
Tell you what, though, I'll try to enjoy one this Sunday while the Falcons are down there playing the Seahawks. How about that?
Oh, boy, that's going to be a good time to have a burger, dog.
People going to have those barbecues going.
Shoot, we need to have our own tailgate party going on. Shoot.
I mean, that would be awesome.
Well, shoot, let's just do it.
I'll tell you what, though, what's going to spoil my appetite
Tell me.
Dessert
Tell
is
me.
if they don't win this doggone game.
Well, we're going to talk about that later. Listen, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the news right now with sports. But the first one I want to talk about is Lochte.
Lochte?
You know Ryan Lochte? The little kid that won all the medals in swimming? Yeah. So he's got a reality show he's going to have.
Right.
Can we have another reality show?
No. Okay, so let me get this out. So T.O. and what is that fella's name? Ocho Cinco. They can all get their own little thing going, but I don't understand why.
Right, exactly. So
why
he's supposed to be
person?
Well, he's looking for a girlfriend too. So that whenever somebody's trying to find a love of their life, that's always something hot to talk about. So anyway, he picked him up. He's going to be airing on E! He's got about 6 episodes that are going to be airing. And they're going to follow him as he prepares for the 2016 Rio Olympics. Like I said, he's looking for a girlfriend. And so I guess they think he's going to be pretty hot. So he's a hot, he's a good looking guy though, So I guess
married woman. No,
and so what? Women look just like men look. Don't even try just because your girlfriend in the studio today. Okay, listen. Now, another person we want to talk about today is Serena Williams.
What you looking at? That's the question.
Come on, producer. We over here. Leave us alone, okay? Stay out of here. Listen, Serena Williams is on fire. At 31 years old, they said Serena is still the one to beat.
Hey, that's how it goes.
I mean,
you know
for
what?
real though.
You gotta, you just can't beat somebody that just has a lot of heart and a lot of passion for their game and for what they want to do. I mean, she's been through a lot, especially, and even her sister Serena. I mean, what can you say? Like, there's just no beating them when you have somebody that puts determination into their play, their hard work, their ethic. Even at 30 years old, when you start to hit that sports decline, there is nothing you can do about it. Look at guys like a Kevin Garnett in the game of basketball. A lot of people think, like he said, a 35-year-old can't do what he do, but he takes a lot of time to perfect his craft. You got Ray Lewis in the NFL that has spent about 16, 17 seasons and is finally on his last ride. And he could go farther, but he knows that he doesn't want to.
Peyton Manning ain't that young either.
Well, yeah, you got a lot of guys, and you got a lot of guys in every sport that have that age to where their body may start to decline, but their mind is just as sharp as.
So it's that mental sharpness that makes the difference for Serena Williams.
Oh heck yeah!
Yeah, because she's sharp though now.
She says she does not want to give up.
Yeah.
And even your body can go through every ache and pain it can every day, but all they do, just rub some dirt on it, put some ice on it, and keep on going.
I know one thing. They said she's quieting the critics right away because they were saying that she just wasn't putting enough heart and soul into the game. So she has shown them this season that she's ready to go, and they put her at the top as the one to beat. She has an opportunity if she wins for her winning her 6th Australian title. I mean, that is freaking amazing. This is a major competition, and they said it's been since 2002, 2003 that she's had this opportunity to win as big as she's winning this year. So I just can't wait to watch her. I love watching her. She's just amazing. She makes it the tennis to me worth watching, because I like tennis, but it's not something that I just sit there and just be like glued to the. But when it's her. When she's playing good and she's on her game, even when she's not, and you're trying to get her to, when she's trying to find her way on the court, and you see her trying to get that mental focus going. It's just amazing to watch her. You're right, though, about that. That mental focus is amazing.
You can't beat somebody that has an intimidating game in their mind, and it's just not wanting to be beat like we talked about earlier. It's all in the mind, and if your mind is there, your heart is there. If your heart is there, your body's there. Yeah. And you know, when everything's in sync, when everything's in perfect form, you're facing up against somebody that has that has intimidation, that have maybe the element of surprise. They have a lot on their side. They can definitely, you know, they could definitely beat any opponent that tries to stand in their way.
I agree with you on that. Hey, the Hall of Fame could be looking at a shutout. So people's all up in the uproar about Clemens and Barry Bonds being selected to the Hall of Fames. And people are upset that, you know, people are allowing the drugs, you know, the talk about the steroids and everything to overshadow their careers and what they brought to the game. Right. And it may be that everybody that's being selected this time is already deceased. There's no living people being selected this time that will win. I mean, I know a lot of people have a lot of feelings. I know a lot of people have a lot of feelings about the Barry Bonds thing and about Clemens, Roger Clemens, and what happened with them with the steroids and everything. But do you think that should overshadow them having an opportunity?
Absolutely not. You're looking at some of the greatest baseball players of all time.
I agree too.
And it's kind of like I'd say a rest in peace kind of function. That if you give them the respects. That you really should put them in, and you put everyone in remembrance. As you know, we wipe our noses with our tissue and whatnot, as you guys actually can, because I'm not allowed to blow my nose for like 2.5, 3 weeks because of my wisdom teeth removal. But we'll get into that later on, maybe not. But it's you gotta give your respects to
today, y'all. We're gonna knock him out of the studio.
You gotta give some of your respects, you know. It is.
I agree though, because they were great players, and you gotta give. I mean, goodness, you can't take away from Barry Bonds the player that he was and what he did for the game of baseball. So yeah, I agree with that. You know, I don't know why it's such an uproar. We want to know your thoughts on that. You guys go to the fan page, Facebook, and tell us what you think. SIBN Sports.fan page, and tell us what you think about that, because you know it's a lot of people really upset about that, and you just never know. I mean, I don't think that there will ever be, and I think other people are saying the same thing, that you'll ever have completely clean when it comes to sports. And on that same note, Armstrong is now saying that he may come out and admit to doping.
I don't want to hear
that. That's exactly what was on my mind.
All the millions. Okay.
Well, the only reason he's wanting to come out now is because he thinks it'll save his career. He'll still have an opportunity to go back into the tour.
The man didn't nearly fight cancer for an X amount of years. It's just
he did.
But that's what makes me don't
what?
And
lie at the same time.
You just.
I'm just saying.
But at some point, do you come out and tell the truth about what really happened, especially when you have friends and people that witnessed it who are saying that they know for a fact you did it? At some point, don't you have to say you did it?
I mean, yes, you do. How? Just like, all right, we're on SIBN Radio. We're all adults here, and especially, hopefully, those that are listening to this. You know, everybody knows that, you know, people in the NBA, people in the NFL, people in swimming, as you guys have absolutely seen, they're all not clean people. People in the music industry, okay, they're all not, you know, all
track
of them,
and field.
You know, okay, track and field, but there's a lot of everybody that's done something. However, for a guy like Lance Armstrong, like, you know, he's won so many Tour de France's, he's battled cancer, he's done so much to where he looks like this outstanding
is guy. Awesome. We don't want to take away from that. His foundation is awesome. I mean, it's helped so many people.
It's just when
you raised millions of dollars to fight cancer.
When you see and you hear some of the things that these guys have done, it's just like, where did things go wrong? Like, you know, you people look up to you as this outstanding person, but and the question is, what did he dope on? You know, What exactly was it?
So you think that if he comes out and says what happened, that would take the cloud off? Do you think that would take off the cloud if he just admits it?
He doped, but he didn't inhale.
Oh, stop it! He doped, but he didn't inhale. How do you not inhale steroids? Come on. Okay, you're speechless. I know.
I just, hey, it is what it is, folks. I mean, sort of yes, sort of no. But I mean, steroids are one of those things. A lot of guys have been through them. Some for the right reasons, some for the wrong reasons.
Okay, so a few weeks ago we had talked about a story on ESPN drops. Parker talked about RG3, and he made the racist comments about RG3's girlfriend because she's white.
That's not
and he made those comments. Well, they released him. Enough said. Shut your mouth. There comes a time to talk. There comes a time to be quiet. Some people think they could just get away with saying anything, don't they?
That's how it is. I mean, look at the freaking music industry.
Right.
There are people out there.
And I mean, we know that there's freedom of speech like Rush Limbaugh and all these other folk. You know what I'm saying? But when it's time to shut up, you need to shut up.
Sit down, drink your milk, take your nap. That's exactly how it goes.
Drink your milk and take your nap.
Drink your milk, take your
nap.
Hey, y'all,
we're going to take a quick nap. We'll be right back at you.
Entry invalid.
Mode.
The Windows Phone 8X by HTC on Verizon. It features easy-to-navigate live tiles that are simple to customize. Just pin what matters most right to your home screen. Exclusively with DataSense, a feature that makes the most of your plan. Only on Verizon.
Hey, Mike. Where do you have to?
Just diagramming this accident with my State Farm Pocket Agent app. You can also get a quote and pay your premium with this thing.
I thought State Farm didn't have all those apps.
Where'd you hear that?
The internet.
And you believed it?
Yeah. They can't put anything on the internet that isn't true.
Where'd you hear that? The internet.
Oh, look. Here comes my date. I met him on the internet. He's a French model.
Bonjour.
State Farm. More mobile than ever. Get to a better state.
It's time to pursue our dreams, to chase what we believe in. It's time to work, to give it our very all and not give up. American Family Insurance believes your dreams deserve the best protection. That's why we're committed to being there for you every step of the way.
You're listening to SIBN Radio on the Select USA TV iBroadcasting Network. You're listening to SIBN Radio.
All right, y'all, we're back at the news. I know when we took our break, we were acting a little silly. But for real, though, I just want to say that some people do go too far with their comments. And for him to make a racist remark just because RG3 has a white girlfriend, it should have never even been a conversation.
True.
So I was a little disgusted about that. So I kind of said, shut up. I shouldn't have said that.
And then you laughed about it.
I know. And then I laughed, right? So check this out. I always get excited because when these guys win something in sports or, they do something really good. For example, Johnny Manziel, the Heisman Trophy winner, right? He has quickly found out about his newfound fame. That you need to be watchful and careful what you do because everything is important now. It's so funny because he was like, I never knew these things would be important. It said he was, there's a website running photos as it says it saw a Heisman winner in a Dallas nightclub with a champagne bottle in his hand is news, especially when he's 20 years old. I guess he didn't think that was going to be an issue.
Well, as a young star,
you're in a nightclub. You're 20 years old. You got a champagne, and you're a Heisman Trophy winner. I think he's finding out really, really fast that, you're not going to be able to do that. And then they said something about a tweet and a photo of him with a wad of money in a casino is news.
That's exactly how it all starts, probably, for a lot of these NFL players.
Is that how it starts?
All right. Hopefully he doesn't get it. Hopefully he doesn't get into gambling and all kinds of whatnot.
Right. But you know what I hope, though, is that he learns from this that people are watching you everywhere you go. Yeah. And you are a Heisman Trophy winner now, and you do need to carry yourself. He said he's learning new things every day. So hopefully he's maturing. Unfortunately, he does have to mature a little faster than he normally would if he was just a regular football player, right?
Yeah.
But he's not just a regular football player. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. Okay. Now let's talk about another really, really exciting highlight.
All right, what we got?
Now, Alabama's beating the pants off of Notre Dame.
I do not.
And what is the talk the next day?
The talk
What's in the news? Do you know?
The fact that Alabama talks a lot of junk?
No. The fact that the quarterback's girlfriend, Catherine Webb, was in the stands.
Oh, yeah. Didn't she give him a kiss?
Yeah, after the game. But the commentators for ESPN commentator Brent Musburger actually had a little extra to say. He said, you quarterbacks get all the good-looking women. What a beautiful woman. Wow. I mean, didn't he go too far? Like, okay, she's beautiful. Moving on, right? You quarterbacks. What does that mean, you quarterbacks? Well, so you're saying nobody else gets a beautiful-looking woman but a quarterback?
Well, I mean, hopefully not. I mean, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, and, you know, the person.
And this is true. She is really a pretty girl, though. She's actually Miss Alabama. So she's a very beautiful girl. And then, at the end, they were interviewing him. This was the funniest part, right? They interviewed him at the end of the game, and they were like, so how does it feel that your girlfriend, Catherine Webb, has become this instant star? She went from 1,000 Twitter followers to over 100,000 Twitter followers. And you should have saw his face. He was like, what? He could not believe that many people followed her just from that game, and then flashing her face. They just kept finding her. The camera did keep finding her.
You never know. The camera can catch people at the right time.
But don't you think that's too much, though? It's kind of an invasion of privacy. You know what I'm saying? She didn't feel like the commentator went too far with his comments, because she said he was just saying that she was a pretty girl. No big deal. You know, she didn't take it in a bad way, but a lot of people thought it was too much, and he came out and apologized.
Well, I'll tell you this. They can say you quarterbacks can get pretty girlfriends, but let's see how many you quarterbacks in the NFL have much success.
That's funny.
A lot of stats
Check this out. Also, really, really exciting. Last week we were talking, you were not here, about Andy Reid. I mean, everybody was trying to get Andy Reid. I mean, when they released him from Philadelphia today, the next day, everybody was going after Andy Reid.
Well, I told you, he's actually a pretty good coach.
No, he's a great coach. We know he is. Well, guess who he got picked up by?
Kansas City.
Kansas City Chiefs picked him up. Kansas City Chiefs signed a deal.
And so now that's another chance. Now that's a chance, though.
Yeah. Well, the first thing he said is that we've been blessed with the number 1 pick in the draft. He ready to roll.
Oh,
he's already ready to roll. So he's getting ready. I'm excited for him. You know, it'll be interesting to see. Well, they said that Philadelphia is looking at Lovie Smith. Now, can I ask you a question? You weren't here last week.
No.
I was sitting on the edge of my seat. I just couldn't believe that the Bears let Lovie Smith go.
Long time, good guy, coach.
9 years.
But you know, I guess Chicago
was
just
it time for a change for Chicago?
Chicago just said it's time for a change. And I mean, you know, there are a lot of teams out there that just say, well, hey, you know, even, you know, the Bucs former coach, they just said, hey, you know, we appreciate you working with us, but a subpar record and the same number every single year just isn't going to get us anywhere.
Exactly.
We want to be in an organization where the team can bring home a championship, they can bring home playoff wins to this city. And
that's interesting.
Get the job done. So.
And, you know, the Jets let go of the GM, but they kept Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan said they're going to have a better season next year, so we'll see what happens there. A lot of good, interesting news. I was just checking out, you know, all the different changes with the coaches and everything on last week, and just seeing who's going to end up where. They said that Lovie Smith is actually not at the top of the Eagles list. They're looking at some other coaches as well, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with that.
There's a big carousel going on around in the league, especially, you know, a couple of coaches and whatnot that have been looked at by from Atlanta staff, from other team standpoints, and
right.
You know, hopefully we can maintain the same core and the same group. But you know, that's a story for another time.
We'll see what happens, right? Hey, so the Tide was on a roll.
Oh, Jesus!
It really wasn't a surprise to me, though. I'm sorry, but Alabama came out and they looked like a team that wanted to win. To me.
Well, they're strong on both sides of the ball, and it's very hard to beat. Look at what they did to Georgia. Georgia was really a better.
Yeah, that's true.
I would say Georgia would have been a better matchup for this, but you know, that's another big shout out to the Dogs winning the Capital One Bowl, guys. That's you know,
cheering for the Dogs.
It's a blessing for them.
Yeah,
they did great. However, a lot of us here in Georgetown wish they could have gone to the big stage,
right?
And, you know, and
we would love to see that, right? But Alabama pounced on Notre Dame 42-14.
Hey, there was no match there. And, like you said, they're strong on both sides of the ball. Yeah. They have a great offense. A.J. McCarron is just, the quarterback being that he is, he's smart. And they have a pretty strong defense as well. And just, especially a defensive line, Alabama is known for, having. Yeah. But too physical, too much. Notre Dame, they had a lot going for them.
But didn't Notre Dame have a breakdown in their defense, though? Because the running back, he just ran all over them.
Well,
that's had 140 yards.
That's exactly what they do. And they give them the 1-2 punch, and, they just keep on driving and keep on going. That's Alabama for you.
Yeah, now, his name is Eddie Lacy. That kid can run.
It'll be interesting to see what their draft class is for this year, for a lot of guys we have that are, the top picks in the country for high school football. Right. Where they'll be going and what they'll be doing.
Yeah, I know. It'll be interesting to see. So we'll definitely be watching that so that we can come back and let you guys know what's going on, with all the different teams, who's going to continue to play. I know the quarterback for Georgia has decided to stay another year.
That'll be great.
With Georgia. That's very good for them. And we'll see who's going to go into the NFL draft and who's going to stay. You got a lot of great players in football, in college football right now. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Listen, we have been talking about so much stuff. I know you said that, another thing I wanted to talk about, some of these stats on Alabama and Notre Dame. They were talking about the points per game. Alabama actually had 38.5 and Notre Dame had 26.8. And then it said points allowed a game. Alabama was 10.7. Notre Dame was 10.3. Yards a game. Alabama was 439, and they were Notre Dame was 421. Yards allowed a game. Alabama allowed 246, and Notre Dame allowed 286. I think when you look at the numbers, it just shows that Alabama actually was stacking up pretty high against them.
Strong on both sides of the ball.
Strong on both sides of the ball, and you got to have that. We talk about that all the time, that you got to have that. Now, you had something really exciting that you wanted to talk about because you always come with some crazy stuff.
Oh,
I know we're going to have to take a break, but when we come back from the break, what was it that you wanted to talk about?
We're going to talk about Sunday, Atlanta and Seattle.
We're going to talk about what now?
Atlanta and Seattle.
Atlanta and Seattle. So let me ask you a question before we go to break. I just want to know. Mm-hmm. Would you have preferred for Atlanta to play the Seahawks or Washington?
You know what? I would have wanted to say Washington.
Right.
But
is there a reason why?
You say Seattle, but we're gonna have to get back to
that.
We
need to talk about that.
We will talk about that. We'll be right. And
I'm sure you have the stats and everything.
Oh yeah, fun facts and all.
You can talk about. We gotta wait on. Where you can talk about exactly what happened and everything, right? But we're gonna look at the stats because the stats are gonna tell it all. Who Atlanta would have stacked up better against? Stats. Don't you agree?
No.
Y'all, Matthew has lost his mind, man. Listen, y'all, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back because I think Matthew has something he wants to say, not sing.
You're listening to SIBN Radio. We'll be right back in a moment. Now is the time to have your business online with the Select USA TV iBroadcasting Network. That's right, SIBN or Select USA TV will produce your video on the spot. Picture business videos, on location streaming videos, or on location production videos. Dial 678-830-3118 or call the office at 404-910-5019 Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now is the time to have your business online with SIBN. The Select USA TV iBroadcasting Network now offers picture videos, on-location streaming videos, and on-location production videos for your event cause, brand, or mission. Call today, 678-830-3118 or 404-910-5019.
Right, but a talking gecko, why?
I'll tell you why. Because people trust advertising icons.
Some bloke tells you to go to geico.com and you're like, really? Just do my UB. But a gecko, he can be trusted. I ask if you want to save hundreds on car insurance, and you're like, yes, thank you. Mind babysitting my kids? And I'm like, of course I'll sit with the kids. You're like a brother to me.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
It's 2:30 in the morning, and your mom just woke me up because she had her very first craving, and so we came to Burger King so she could get a Whopper.
So good.
Look at
Burger King is celebrating 55 years of Whopper sandwich and inviting you to share your best Whopper moments.
Thanks for waking me up.
Thanks for buying me a Burger King.
I was once used for small jobs.
And I took on all the bigger, tougher ones, but with Mr. Clean's new Select-A-Size Magic Eraser, he can take on any size job.
At least we don't go near Rex's mobile home as often.
What are you, scared?
New Mr. Clean Select-A-Size Magic Eraser.
The call to serve. It has no sound, yet I have heard it in the whispered retelling of honorable sacrifices made by those who have served before me. The call to serve has no form, yet I have clearly seen it. In the eyes of men and women infinitely more courageous and more driven than most. The call to serve has no weight, yet I have held it in my hands. I will commit to carry it close to my heart until my country is safe and the anguish of those less fortunate has been soothed. The call to serve is at once invisible and always present. And for those who choose to answer the call, for their country, for their fellow man, for themselves, it is the most powerful force on earth. America's Navy, a global force for good. You're listening to SIBN Radio on the Select USA TV iBroadcasting Network. You're listening to SIBN Radio.
Welcome back, folks. Keeping you on top of your teams in news, stats, and wins. This is SIBN Sports, and guess what we're about to get into?
What?
The NFL.
Oh.
Come on, silly.
Listen, so let's talk about the stats, because I'm excited. I'm really excited, to be honest with you, about this, because I want the Falcons to win so bad. But if you stack up Freeman, to me, against RG3, I just feel that RG3 would have been a stronger match.
Well, Russell, wait, first, Seattle and...
Right, I'm saying I believe RG3 would have been a stronger match against the Falcons defense.
Oh, then Russell Wilson.
It would have been harder, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, check it out. When we look at Seattle, they are, in points, they're ranked, they're 25.8, almost 26 points. That they're ranked 9th in the league for that. For yards, they get 350. They're 17th in the league for that. And they're almost at 190 passing yards, 190 passing yards. They're ranked 27th in the league for that. Now, check this out. This is probably the make or break for Atlanta right here. They are ranked 3rd in the league in rushing yards at 161.
Right.
If Atlanta can't get it together, that's what's going to beat them. Marshawn Lynch
line is going to have to be on point.
Marshawn Lynch will probably walk all through them and everything.
Right.
Now the thing is, if John Abraham is healthy,
right,
that is going to be their strong point, because that's one of the questionable things that Mike Smith did the week before last and playing his starters throughout the entire game.
I know.
Duncan Robinson,
yes,
hurt his head.
Yep.
John Abraham hurt that ankle.
Yep.
That can definitely hurt them in the long run. But he says they're going to play Sunday. But I have something that I want to ask. If Abraham and Duncan Robinson are expected to play, will they be 100%? Let us know what you think, folks. www.facebook.com/SIBNsports.fanpage, and let us know your thoughts on that.
Right,
if
because
they play, will they actually be 100%?
Right, because we don't want another incident like what happened to the Redskins and RG3. And while we're talking about this, I just have to ask a question for you
go ahead.
And for the fans.
Yes.
Did Shanahan make a mistake in leaving RG3 in the game?
Honestly, no. He wanted it so bad, but he eventually came to the point where
you say no.
Well, no, look at this. RG3 himself wanted to get it for his team. Shanahan said he's proved this all year. So what's the chances I have?
Yeah, but I think an injury and a sickness are two different things. Remember how Jordan played sick?
He played the flu game.
He played with the flu. But this kid's knee, we're talking this could be major. This could be career ending. You got what I'm saying? Like, you don't risk his career for a game. I just don't agree with the risking his whole career for one game.
Well, luckily, Captain Kirk is, Captain Kirk's a step-up guy and definitely a great backup. Probably one of the best in the NFL.
So we're already talking backup at this point.
Well,
Cousins, right?
Just to be safe,
right?
And just to make sure that he's around when the time is right. I think RG3's got a pretty good backup. But you know what? Between, Seattle and Washington, just with the reason I say that Washington would probably match up better is because for the injury prone or for anything else that where they have their breakdowns is that Atlanta could honestly walk all over them.
Right.
Of course I would stick my foot in my mouth and say, oh, well, look in New York a couple of years. Look in New York last year when they, when Atlanta went up there and they stomped the living daylights out and they only let them score 2 points.
Right.
But I think that Atlanta has a better chance of walking all over, Washington and finally putting a playoff win in the books versus Russell Wilson, Marshawn Lynch, and the rest of these guys down here on Seattle.
So do you think the bye helped them out at all? The Falcons have an opportunity to just wait, and rest for a week. And they're not resting. I know these guys are preparing, and I hope that they're preparing for this game and not taking it lightly,
Well, and that's the thing is that, we said we're hopeful and we want the best, but Atlanta's got to be the best.
Right.
Let's check this out. What does the defense need to be successful? The defense has to know their assignments. They have to stop the run. They've got to stop these third to first down conversions.
Right.
They've got to stop these fourth to first down conversions.
Yeah.
Because if they, Robert McClain, Stephen Nicholas, William Moore, Dunta Robinson, John Abraham, John Babineau, they've all got to be on
Everybody
their game.
got to be on their game. Everybody's got to be in their place. I agree with you on that. If the defense is not sharp, if for Falcons is not sharp, they're going to run into some issues against the Seahawks.
Atlanta can make plays on offense. They can do their best. On the offensive side, yes, they have to be smart. They have to catch. They can't have any. They can suffer mental mistakes. They can suffer.
But I don't see.
They should not.
I'm not as concerned though about the offense, to be honest with you, because I really believe that Matt Ryan is going to have a great game. I think that Roddy White is going to step up like he needs to. This is an important game for Tony Gonzalez. He always steps up. He's going to do his thing. And if Jones is playing well, I really believe our offense is going to be okay.
Now, here's another thing, too.
Yeah.
With Matt Ryan, speaking of, his role, he has to be a poised leader.
Right.
He has to continue to do what he's been doing. And
right.
Here's the thing. Because everyone looks at Atlanta, they say, Matt Ryan is 0-3 in playoff wins. Well, guess what? Matt Ryan's going to prove what he can do on Sunday night. So it's all up to him. He's got to be a poised leader.
With you on that.
He's got to march that offense downfield and put points on the board. But then again, the offense will be no success without the defense. And check this out. Matt Ryan is 5th in the NFL in passing yards. That's actually very good compared to the quarterbacks in the NFL.
Most definitely.
The team overall, they're ranked 7th in the league in points, which is 26. They're ranked 8th in the league in yards, which is almost 370, but they have 281 passing yards, which ranks them 6th. You ever heard the joke? Why is 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. Well, 6 has nothing to be worried about because they are ranked 29th in the league in rushing yards at 87. Does that kind of make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. And the problem there is that
my joke is not
Turner and the problem there is that Turner is not having a great year. He's just not having a great year in running.
Atlanta's taken a step back, and they've not let him rush the ball so much. They haven't let him be march. They've said, okay, well, guess what? We're close to the end zone, so you're going to get in it. Jacquizz Rodgers, X factor for this team. They give him the ball. He can use his feet. He can get in there. They use Jason Snelling every now and then to kind of power it in some.
Exactly.
So, it's interesting to see what they. It's interesting.
I'd love to see Turner have a breakaway game, and I would love to see him do it this time. But unfortunately, he has not been able to do it this season. He just has not been able to do it.
And here's the thing: they have. You know what? They have Seattle. They have a pretty good line. I've mentioned Red Bryant. They've also got Bruce Irvin and Alan Branch. They've got a pretty good defensive line. So maybe this is Turner's chance to prove that, I don't care what you guys have, I'm going to go ahead and
I agree with you on that.
Just push through
I'm in on that one.
This is a Seattle team that we've seen that beat New Orleans in the wild card back in 2010. Be advised, the Saints won the Super Bowl in 2009. The defending champs come to you and they beat the living snot out of them. Yeah. That was honestly one of the most shocking games I had ever seen. And so, like we said, Atlanta's defense got to be sharp. They've got to stop Marshawn Lynch. They cannot let him rush all over the field. Like we said, they're ranked 3rd in the league in rushing yards. So, honestly, here's one thing I want to come to. And folks, I'm about to lay down a prediction, and I want to know what you think. Let us know.
Lay down your prediction.
Yeah, lay down your prediction. www.facebook.com/SIBN
Okay, lay it down.
I say Atlanta can win if they stop the run game and stop 3rd to 1st down conversions and 4th to 1st down conversions. They've got to strike early, and you cannot fight from behind. In a playoff game, you cannot be a team that can fight from behind.
Yes, you got to win. Now, and that was the Seahawks up against Redskins. The score was 24-14. Washington scored 14 points in the first quarter, and they did not score any more the rest of the game.
They looked hot coming out.
Right.
They looked hot coming out.
They just looked like they were going to win. You know what I'm saying? I really thought that the Redskins were going to put it off, but the Seahawks pulled it in late. Neither one of them scored in the 3rd quarter, and then in the 4th quarter, Seattle scored 11 points to take the game 24-14. So they were, and with RG3 being hurt like that, man, there was no way he was going to be able to come back.
And I tell you what, we got a lot more. We got a few more predictions coming up. Stay right here, folks. Don't touch that mouse. We'll be right back here. Matthew Bugs and Claire Select on SIBN Sports.
Hello.
Get to the game. Powered by American Family Insurance. Trey Matthews, one of the top safeties in his class, defined his playing style early on.
I started playing football when I was around 9. They were doing head-on tackling drills. He was getting ready to hit a guy, and he was like, no, we're not going to let him go against him because he played last year. And I was like, no, let him hit it.
Trey didn't know, what am I supposed to do? He's much bigger than I am. My husband said, just go at him and go full speed. And he just did it like he had been doing it since he was, younger than 8 or 9.
He's never missed a practice, been late for one. He's a dedicated football player, 12 months out of the year.
Trey's family is very close, and it's helped keep Trey on the path to his dreams.
The closest of our family is phenomenal. When I step out of line, my mom is the first one on me.
I know I push him a whole lot more than what some of the other boys' parents do, but that, of course, will help him in the end.
Trey's dream is to be a professional football player. We work out together almost every night. My dad taught me my work ethic. He taught me everything I know. People talk about a plan B. We don't have a plan B. You put all that you have into your plan A. And if your plan A fails, then we'll work on another plan A.
The NFL is a big dream, and Trey has a plan and the support to protect it.
The best way to protect my dream is to stay focused, keep my body healthy, and to hit the books hard. When Trey starts to talking about what he wants to pursue, I just get behind him 100%. We have a motto that we live by. That's put God first, go hard, and have fun. That's in life, in the classroom, and everything that you do.
You do a lot of thinking on a bike about your life, family, your dreams. One of my dreams came to me on a bike, to open up my own shop. So what happens when you complete a dream? Well, you just start thinking of the next.
You're listening to SIBN Radio on the Select USA TV iBroadcasting Network. You're listening to SIBN Radio.
Right back here, folks. SIBN Sports, keeping you on top of your teams, news, stats, and wins. So check this out. Continuing in the NFL a little bit, I have a couple of predictions here. I predict Baltimore will beat Denver in the next round.
OMG! Are you serious?
Yes.
All I gotta say is the Colts against the Ravens, the Colts' luck ran out. I just had to say that.
Hey, I like that.
I've been waiting to say that. They luck ran out. But I will say this. I am just a fan of Ray Lewis. Always have
the
liked
man has
Ray
a lot
Lewis.
of heart, a lot of intimidation. You can't beat that. We talked about that earlier today, didn't we?
So full of power and strength. He's so strong, you know, and people are so mad. It's okay. It's okay. People are so mad about the fact that Ray Lewis danced like that at the end of the game because he was just so freaking excited, right? And he did his Q-Dog step. You know, did you see it? I don't know if y'all saw it.
He does his little dance,
He did his little Q-Dog step when he went hard, right? People were mad like that was too much. First of all, this was his last game at the stadium in front of his home team.
They let him go on the offense for a second and down the ball right there, and it was all on him.
Let him do what he do. Kudos to Ray Lewis for taking it out hard, baby, in the paint. It was nice. I'm sorry. I got excited. But, yeah, Baltimore played strong. They scored. Both teams scored. Didn't score anything in the first quarter. Baltimore was 10. Indianapolis was 6 in the second quarter. And then in the second half, third quarter, Baltimore scored 7. Indianapolis scored 3. Baltimore in the fourth quarter scored another 7. And Indianapolis scored 0. So that just lets you know Indianapolis could not find any luck anywhere. And the Ravens just walked all over them. What a game. I was so hyped, so excited. And I'm going to tell you something here. We talked about this. The defense made the difference in this game. They were all over luck like white on rice. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. But yeah, that was a great game. So let's go back to this prediction now.
Yes. Why I predict Baltimore to Denver?
Yeah, let's talk about this because
all right,
this is a rematch. And on December the 16th, the Broncos beat the Ravens 34-17. Big game. So I know you got some stats to back up what you're saying.
All right, well,
you don't come like that. See, always come prepared.
Well, check this out.
So I'm ready for this one because I don't agree.
You can't. Well, first of all, Baltimore has just too strong of a defense. That's one of the things that you just can't get past. And like we said, Ray Lewis, he's still intimidating. Even at that, they still have a defensive line. You got Terrence Cody. You got Brian Hall, Arthur Jones back there. You got Dannell Ellaby. You have, as we said, the one, the only, Ray Lewis, Jamil McClain, Albert McClellan. These guys are able to make plays on the defensive side of the ball. They're able to, and even without Ray Lewis, you saw how long they held on.
I know, that's true.
You saw how long they held on. These guys are able to, like I said, they're able to make these plays, and I think they'll give Peyton Manning a big run for his money. Willis McGahee, definitely they're in for some big trouble, and especially with a lot that's riding on everybody's mind right now with Ray Lewis and it being his last playoff run. Yeah. Does Baltimore really have the chances of winning another ring? I think they definitely do if they can beat Denver even on their own home field.
But it's going to be a lot to beat Denver.
It's going to take a lot to beat Denver, yes, but guess what?
I think that Peyton Manning plays at his best when he has the most pressure. And with a defense as strong as Baltimore Ravens have, coming at Peyton Manning
is everything.
He's going to have to be sharp and on his P's and his Q's, dotting his I's and crossing all of his T's. And I believe that Peyton Manning is going to be able to do that.
Well, We'll see
so,
about
hey,
that.
I'm loving this rivalry here.
Okay.
So we calling this
Guess
one.
what, sports fans? Guess what, sports fans? You let us know what you think on our Facebook fan page.
Who you agree with? Do you agree with Clara or do you agree with Matthew? Let us know. I'm saying Denver is going to win against the Ravens. You are saying
I've got Baltimore, and I'm not counting on their offense. Defense wins games.
You're saying defense alone is going to do this one.
Defense technically wins championships, but defense
and I'm
wins
saying
games.
The leader in Peyton Manning is going to win this game.
We'll see about that.
Let's do it,
see about
baby!
that. If the defense plays right, they've got this game hands down. So check it out. We've got Houston and New Orleans. What do you think about that one?
That is another matchup. Actually, the Patriots beat back December the 10th, I'm sorry. The Patriots beat up on the Houston Texans 42-14. Mm-hmm. I promise you that Tom Brady is going to come out strong. He's going to have a great game. I said this, and we said it a couple of weeks ago, that this was a quarterback Super Bowl.
Well, and
this is a freaking quarterback Super Bowl right here.
I personally feel that this is not Houston's game. I really do think that them going back to New England, this is definitely New England's game.
Yeah, this is New England's game to win, and I think that Tom Brady is going to have a great game, and I think that the Houston Texans are going to go back to their old ways. We watched them as they moved back and forth. You know what I'm saying? At first they were doing well, then all of a sudden they're getting beat down, and then they come back a little bit. No, we don't want to see that.
They mimic Atlanta.
I agree with you. I agree with you on this one. So y'all, there's nothing to write about on this one. There's nothing to tweet about on this one. We agree that the New England Patriots are going to take out the Houston Texans and win that game. And boy, let me tell you, woo-wee. Then that means that, and based on what you're saying, that's going to be New England Patriots against Baltimore Ravens. Based on what I'm saying, that's going to be the New England Patriots against the Denver Broncos, which I want to see. I want to see it. I'm sorry. I want to see that matchup again.
You're a good quarterback brawl here. Come on now. No.
This is all about the quarterback.
I want to see great offense versus great defense, and that's what's going to happen.
Okay.
So
well, that we're going to get some of that too. But I'm just telling you, when the quarterbacks are on their game, you know it's exciting. It makes the whole game exciting.
Well, check this out. Speaking of excitement,
let's talk about it.
I picked Atlanta over Seattle, and I think a lot of everybody, but just like it has been in the past, 4 seasons that they've gone to the playoffs, they predicted Atlanta every time. But guess what? 4 times the charm, not third. 4 times the charm. So I'm going with Atlanta over Seattle.
I am going with Atlanta over Seattle Seahawks as well.
So
okay,
it's up to the defense, though. It's up to the defense.
The last game that we're going to talk about, which I want to mention this quarterback thing. I want to mention the quarterback thing before we go to break.
Okay.
Now, you remember a few weeks ago we were talking about the 49ers.
Right.
And we were talking about Kaepernick, and we were talking about Steve Smith. And what did the coach say? We're staying with Steve Smith. Did he not? Right?
Correct him.
Did he not? He said no. He's our guy.
Well,
that hasn't happened.
Well, check it out. It's got them into the playoffs, though.
But what happened? I mean, I'm just saying, what all of a sudden changed that they decided to stay with Kaepernick is what I'm trying to say. Because they were saying that they were not going to stay with Kaepernick, and then all of a sudden, Kaepernick was the guy.
Production in practice, production in games, production everywhere that can just, that gives these guys a clear indication that this guy wants to play. This guy is going to make it. So
sorry about my cell phone. I got to turn it off. Boy, that was fun. Hey, you know how it is when you got the cell phone on and everybody's talking and all of a sudden the phone just starts ringing. How you going to have a cell phone on the set? You know that's a no-no.
Hey, wait a minute. It wasn't my phone.
I screwed up. I'm talking to myself out loud.
Oh,
so anyway, we're going to break, y'all. We'll be back. We got to talk some more about this last game, San Francisco 49ers and the Green Bay Packers. Y'all hold on to your mouths. Don't touch it, okay?
Station changing the way we live.
I am Donnell Bella, a.k.a. world-famous DJ Donnie B. You are tuned in to SIBN Radio, your lifestyle improvement station. I'm telling y'all to turn it up. Turn it up.
You're listening to the sounds of your lifestyle improvement station, changing the way we live.
I am Birmingham Valor, a.k.a. world-famous DJ Donnie B. You are tuned in to SIBN Radio, your lifestyle improvement station. I'm telling y'all to turn it up. Turn it up.
You're listening to SIBN Radio. We'll be right back in a moment. I want to ask you a question. Who's coaching you? Who's asking you the tough questions? Who's telling you, man, you're the common denominator to all of your issues and challenges? Who's telling you, man, all day long you become the magnetic pulse that attracts to you both good and bad? I want to be your life coach. I want to be the one that cheers you on to the finish line. I want to be the one that you ask the tough questions. And it doesn't mean that I have all the answers, but that means that you have a partner, someone who believes in you, not the you see right now, but the you can't imagine, the you that you are to become, the you are destined to be. I always say we both need the positive and the negative. It's not enough to have the knowledge of the matter, but we must have the wisdom as well. For wisdom settles it. And that's what I want to offer you as you join me on the Coach's Corner. I want to offer you the wisdom of the matter. Maybe it might be relationships, talking about our campaigns for more, for life, the dark room for our subconscious, our spiritual journey. Whatever it is, I want to be there to encourage you, to build you, to challenge you, to cheer you on to the finish line. I'm qualified to do this. Why? Because I'm you. You're listening to the sounds of SIBN FM Radio, the weekday grind and the weekend drive. Turn it up.
All right, y'all. All right, we back at the desk, y'all. We were going in really hard and strong talking about the Green Bay Packers and San Francisco 49ers. Now, they met back in September, on September 9th, when we had the replacement refs. Okay? Not that that matters. 49ers beat the Packers 30-22. Now, Alex Smith was the quarterback for that game. He threw 20 of 26, which is ridiculous, 211 yards and 2 touchdowns to lead San Francisco to a big win over the Packers. So what do you think about that?
Well, first of all, somebody, being able to knock out Green Bay, especially nowadays, is not a hard. I'm sorry, it is a very hard thing to do.
No, I thought you were going to say it wasn't hard.
Oh, heck no. but that leads me to this: is that Aaron Rodgers poised, Colin Kaepernick poised. They be advised, San Francisco went into doggone New Orleans and spanked them in the Superdome. They did what Atlanta couldn't do.
Right.
Of course, they're two different teams, but still, San Francisco's a very strong team. Then again, Green Bay is a very strong team.
Exactly.
So,
this is a hard one to call.
Green Bay has a pretty balanced offensive defense. So, honestly, this is the craziest prediction I will ever make, guys. Green Bay and San Francisco are actually pretty equal.
Right.
So I want to know what you guys think. Let us know. www.facebook.com/SIBN Sports.fanpage, guys. We need you.
We need you, because on this one, I'm going to be honest with you, this is going to be a great matchup, but I really cannot say who's going to win this game. Seriously, like, this is such a tight matchup here. It's going to be interesting to see who wins and who ends up on top. So you're going to have Green Bay playing San Francisco. You're going to have the Seattle Seahawks at Atlanta. You're going to have Houston Texans at New England, which we're calling New England on that game. And you're going to see Baltimore Ravens at Denver. I'm calling Denver. Matt is calling Baltimore. We're both calling Atlanta. You know what it is, the home team. We're going for the home team on that one. And I'm telling you, I want to see Atlanta finally get a win that they deserve, don't you?
And this is true, guys. We're waiting for it. This is their biggest moment. Now,
let's take the NFC. Woo! Falcons.
And I got some quick topics, guys. I want you to put this down. I want you to write this down. For teams that got to go back to the drawing board. Jacksonville, they're running for Tebow. Let us know what you think.
Right.
In New Orleans, everyone's returning from suspension. So how are they going to be next year?
Oh, I can't wait.
Also, RG3 will get better, but what's up for the team? So let us know what you think about those topics, those 3 topics.
And Philadelphia. Don't leave out Philadelphia. What's going to happen without Andy Reid? Is Michael Vick still going to be the starting quarterback? And what other changes will they make in Philadelphia? I cannot wait to see what's going to happen in Philadelphia.
This is the chance to show us that you guys are actually listening.
Okay.
Put down what you think. If you do, we will greatly thank you. There might be some prize or reward for you. However, help us out. But, with the quick thing in the NBA, guys.
Right.
The Hawks are third in the East right here in Atlanta.
Go Hawks.
What do you think about that? Is that good for them? Can they actually prove the position? They've lost 3 straight now, but can they still maintain their position and actually put themselves in the greatest position to finally go to the third round in the here in the East? Also, what's up with the Lakers? Hey, 15-19. What can we say about them?
I mean, Gasol is out. Howard is out right now. Both injuries. I mean, I don't really have a lot to say about the Lakers. They're not really even. They're really not even in contention. I will quickly. Kia Performance Awards for the month of December. The Chosen Four is what they call it. Kia Eastern Conference Player of the Month was LeBron James of the Miami Heat, averaging 27.5 per game. Points per game. The Kia Western Conference Player of the Month was Chris Paul from the Los Angeles Clippers. The Kia Eastern Conference Rookie of the Month was Bradley Beal for the Washington Wizards, averaging, I said Gizzards.
Hey, that'd be good right about now.
The Washington Wizards averaging 13.4 points a game. And the Kia Western Conference Rookie of the Month was Damian Lillard of Portland Trail Blazers, averaging 18 points per game. How did I say his name?
Lizard.
I'm having a problem reading right now.
Who you talking about?
With glasses on.
I'm old.
I said Lillard instead of I said Lizard instead of Lillard. What's his name? Okay, so where are the standings right now? Who's looking like what? New York is 20. What happened with Carmelo Anthony the other night? Did Carmelo Anthony lose his mind?
I think we all do sometimes, and that's just exactly how it goes. And
I'm going to throw something at our producer. He is really wrapping it up on us, okay? We are going to finish strong here. But I got to talk about Carmelo Anthony. How you going to let somebody say something about your wife who don't know your wife? Tell me she smelled like a cookie cutter or some crap. And he got an attitude, and they were fussing and all this stuff. He may get suspended for a game. Listen, boy, get on the bus and go home. We're grown folk now. You don't answer to somebody saying something about your wife.
You're a beast in the East, and you're going to take that to the head.
Right. I mean, you are too strong for that, man.
Speaking of that, guys, I'm going to leave you with this last topic. Who's the best in the East? Who's the best in the West? So,
if you wrap it up
let us know what you think on our www.facebook.com Facebook.com/SIBN
Hey, I want to give
Sports
some
fan
shout
page.
outs. We want to give a shout out to our friend, he's a good friend of ours, QB, with Q Time Entertainments. What's up, QB? We're doing some great things in the new year with him. Really excited about that with Q Time Entertainments. Be looking for him on Facebook. You can find him there. Quentin Butler, better known as QB, with Q Time Entertainments. Also want to give a shout out to Nikki Towers. Going to be doing some things with her. She is doing great things in the ATL. What's up, Nikki? I can't wait to get with you, girl, so we can do some stuff together. She's with the Southside Steppers. Boy, they be throwing down. Them girls don't play. They can step. What else we got going on?
Don't forget about our new website, folks, www.SIBNradio-by-SelectUSATV.com. We got everything up there, so make sure you check it out.
Y'all, please check out our website. We need your support. Continue to support us. Continue to listen. We want to see your comments, but we want you to go to that website and check out our website. We're doing big things in the A. This your girl, Clara Salat, and he is
Matthew Bugs. Keeping you on top of your teams and news, stats, and wins. This is SIBN Sports.
See you next time.
Once again, I'm Matthew Bugs, and this is SIBN Sports.
You're listening to SIBN Radio on the Select USA TV iBroadcasting Network. You're listening to SIBN Radio.